And it's another Friday, 12 noon Eastern time. And just like we do every Friday, it's time for another episode of the CVC Home Service Success Network. This is sponsored by CVC Success Group. And we do this to share ideas, to share concepts, share ways to take your business to the level you dream of. That's what I've been doing for the last 15 years, coaching, training, helping people. And for this broadcast, we try to come up with some great guests. And today, we truly have an all-star with us. This is a guy that I actually went through training with many years ago, spent several days with him, went back, spent a private day with him in his office. He lives in Charlotte, not far from me. But our guest today is a gentleman by the name of Jeffrey Gitomer, author of numerous books, the best-selling sales book of all time, The Little Red Book of Selling. So today we're going to be talking about Jeffrey because a couple weeks ago, I was able to view a presentation of an entirely new platform. Some years ago, when I went through training with Jeffrey, I was exposed to virtual training that just blew my mind at that point of the way that virtual training could be an asset. And I think what he's come up with here today that we're going to talk about is an AI coaching platform where you can carry on a conversation with Jeffrey at the click of a button. And it's got all kinds of features. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So Jeffrey, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing fine. I brought my buddy Thomas Ross with me that y'all can see. Thomas looks very mundane, but I'm telling you, he's a powerhouse, a force of nature in terms of launching, understanding digital marketing, digital sales training. And we have collaborated to be able to make my AI the most powerful platform that it possibly can be. Conversational is the new black in AI, but most salespeople haven't even gotten to a point yet where they're in AI sales 101. They don't even get they're not even on first base. They're sitting there with a beer in their hand watching something stupid on Netflix.
I hear you, man. Thomas, you look very distinguished to me.
Yeah, I was just thanking him for dressing up.
Yeah. So Thomas is coming to us from Fargo, North Dakota, and Jeffrey coming to us right down the road in Charlotte, North Carolina. He lives about 30 minutes from where Cheryl and I live, right down the road. We see him in restaurants every once in a while. So actually we cross paths, and it's good to talk. Good to have both of them on today. So here we go, Jeffrey. Do you want to tell us about what you've got here, or do you want to let Thomas do that?
Well, I want to ask you a couple of questions of the listening audience. Number one, how are you using artificial intelligence to build your customer base and to build your sales? And the answer for most salespeople is not enough, or maybe even not at all. There's a fear of AI, like it's going to catch on fire or something, or people are going to wait to see if it goes away or not. AI is here forever. It is never, ever going to go away. It is only going to get better every single day. And the people that don't use it are falling behind daily because this AI situation enhances itself literally every day. You look at your inbox, you're getting AI news all the time. Join this, do that. Half the gurus are full of shit. They don't really understand what's going on, pardon my French. And the other half have some valid information, but the only thing a salesperson cares about is how am I going to make a sale and make a commission right now? Everything else, bullshit. Everything. So I'm going to share with you what I've created, and then Thomas is going to take over and share an actual demo, if that's okay.
That works like a charm. Take it. Let's rock and roll.
So I published 17 books, 16 ebooks. I have about 4,000 blog posts and columns and 1,600 YouTube videos. They're all in one place. And AI categorizes that and puts it all into one hopper so that when you ask me a question, I can give you an answer immediately. I can also think about what it is that I'm saying and challenge you even further. So keep that as the foundation. Add to that conversation. So you don't just ask me a question, you can talk to me. You can say, hey, Jeffrey, what do you think about cold calling? Do you have an opinion on it? Or what's the best way to make a cold call? Or what's another way to make a cold call? You can keep asking me questions. I have so much content that it's scary. And when it is conversational, it feels like a dialogue, not a Q&A. So let's use that as the foundation. After that, I can talk to you in the language that you choose. Not just English or Spanish. I'm talking about colloquial, politically correct English, or what I refer to as Jersey Jeffrey. So I can swear at you, or I can tell you you're pretty and you're going to be fine. I can also admonish you for what you're not doing or encourage you. I can also give you a 30,000 foot view in theory or a pragmatic view of what do I got to do right now, or both. So this is pretty darn flexible because AI can think better than I can, faster than I can, and it remembers every single thing I've ever said or written. Think about that. Millions of bytes right there in front of it's smarter than me. I'm a smart guy. I'm Jersey. But my AI is 10 times smarter than I am because it remembers everything. Not some things, everything. And because my content is deep, you can say, Jeffrey, what's the best way to make a cold call? And I'll answer you. And then I'll say, well, give me another way. And I'll answer you that. And then you say, well, give me another way. And I'll answer you with that. Because my content has depth. And depth of content is what's going to separate the AI gurus from the AI wannabes. If you only have an hour's worth of material in your AI platform, you're toast. I have hundreds of hours. And that's the key to making this happen, Jerry and Cheryl. I want you to understand this is a genuine technological breakthrough. When you saw it for the first time, Jerry, what did you think?
It blew my mind. I watched the demo and then I immediately signed up for it because you can get a 2-day free trial. And when the 2-day free trial was up, hey, I continued on with it. And what I like about it is it's voice activated or voice, whatever we want to call it. So I actually just say, hey, Jeffrey, I pull it up and say, hey, Jeffrey, and you'll answer back. And then I'll ask the question and of a challenge that somebody's told me about the day before. And you're giving me backup in order to help me help my people. That's why I'm recommending to my clients that they engage this. I see where it is putting Jeffrey at their fingertips anytime they want you.
And also, I want to add for that, it's not only me. I've written about every person on the planet. I've written about Dale Carnegie and Napoleon Hill and Jim Rohn, and all of that's going to appear as part of my content. Everything I've ever written is there. I had the guy from Selling Power a couple of weeks ago said, Jeffrey, tell me about the interview you did on Selling Power. He asked my AI, tell me the 3 main things from our conversation. And it popped back in like 2 seconds. I did that interview 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even have remembered I did the interview, let alone what I said and how powerful it was. But it blew him away.
Yeah.
So right now, AI is at the fulcrum point of enhancing the value of a salesperson's ability to sell, literally filling their wallet. And yes, I'm the intermediary. Yeah, you got to pay me money to be able to play. But the bottom line is it's playable. We can put a link in the chat. I think that would help out significantly. Thomas, you know how to throw that in there?
Sure I do.
Cool. See? I can be a and I've had a Mac since 1984. I'm 1,000% Apple. And then the PC complicated the world because you had to learn how to use it. Apple, you just click and it's there. I don't know what y'all use, but
yeah, I remember you. Yeah, you're a big Apple guy. I can still remember going through training and be downgraded because I was an Android user. But
right.
but like you said, guys, this whole thing, one of the things I learned about Jeffrey was you actually went to Texas, if I remember correctly, and went to watch Zig Ziglar teach Sunday school. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah, many times actually. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's pretty bad because, hey, Jeffrey's Jewish and he went to listen to
Now,
Zig
here's the
Ziglar.
deal. I represent the Old Testament. Zig and I know each other. And he'd be giving this sermon at his Sunday school class. It's the only time you ever heard Zig Ziglar give a different speech. And he had this class called the Encouragers, and I'd sit in the front and, wave and say, hey, whatever. And he would always have somewhere in his sermon that you can never get to heaven until you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord. And then he would look right at me.
Okay. I hear you. So, Thomas, you want to take over and give us a demo of what we're talking about here? And while you're getting set up, there's also, I love this because it's got a follow up. I've got a coach into my email the next day going over the conversation.
Oh, yeah.
It has a memory. I go in there and look, and it remembers what we talked about.
It's scarily sophisticated and easy to use.
Yep. Yep. So, Thomas, turn it over to you, brother. All yours.
Well, thank you. And I think before I do that, I want to preface this or set this up, preface this with a little bit of an overview of why this is so important. So when we think about salespeople today, for the most part, they're not using AI yet. They're aware of it, and they're hearing from all sorts of people that they should be doing this and they should be doing that, but they're not doing that. And
because, why? Salespeople already know everything. If you're from New York, especially, anything I say today is just a review. Just so
Right.
I just want to put you at ease.
Exactly. So they tend to be know-it-alls, and that's the bit of the nature of the beast with respect to salespeople. Maybe they're overconfident, but
Yep.
I would also say that how many salespeople do you know fill in the CRMs?
Okay.
Right. So
Right.
they don't tend to be administratively strong. Let's say it that way. But that's because they're communicators, and they're phenomenal communicators, generally speaking. But what they don't do well is listen well. So one of the things that salespeople can do better is listen. And what AI does, especially in the case of conversational AI, is it allows us to do what we do best, and that is communicate and have conversations. But in this case, they get to communicate with the king of sales, and they get to answer, or rather talk to, somebody with decades of sales experience, who's been in every sales scenario imaginable, thousands of times more than they have or probably ever will be. So when they ask Jeffrey a question, they get an answer. And what does that do for them in the sales process, and when can they do it? So the most important thing is they can do it anytime. They can be in the car getting ready to go into a sales call, pop Jeffrey up on their phone, and get the answer to a question that was nagging them about the meeting they're going into, and then go into that meeting with full confidence. So let's talk a little bit, and let me show you a little bit what we're talking about. So I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully it shares the right one, because I'm not used to using this system. But let's make sure it does. I think I've got it. What screen are you guys seeing? You're not seeing the right one yet, so I'm going to go over there. Are you seeing?
We haven't seen anything yet.
Not seen anything yet? Should be sharing now.
Here it is. Hang on one second.
Is it going?
Great.
Wrong
Great.
screen.
Okay.
Hang on.
We'll take you off now. Hit another one. Let me know.
It should switch over. Give me a sec. Did it switch over?
Not yet.
Okay. Let's do that again. This system is a little different than what I'm used to.
Yeah. When you click the present button, you should have a choice there of screens to show.
Yeah, I've just got to figure this system out. It's a little different, but it's not picking the right screen, so I've got to get that.
I'll just have dinner while y'all are fucking with it.
Well, it's only lunchtime. Let me see if I can find. There we go. I think I've got it. Hopefully this works. Let me know if this came up to the right screen, guys.
There you go.
There's Jeffrey's image, so that must be the right page. So this is the desktop version, and what it does is it allows us to actually set up the relationship and set up an account with Jeffrey that we can now talk through. When you're on the phone, it's a little different because it's designed to mostly go right into chat. So you must have set yours up, Jerry, as well on both. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm set up. It looks just like that. And then I have to click on chat to talk to him.
Right, exactly. Now, what it also can be used is we can actually set up teams for corporations so that people can see how each other's doing and they can rate and see how they're doing with different sales stats. So we can tie in a lot of great information. But if we want to ask Jeffrey a question, we simply hit the button. It's going to connect. And I'm going to say, Jeffrey, what's the best way to close a sale?
You're not buying the small talk, are you? All right, let's get real. The best way to close a sale is to stop treating it like a sale. Stop focusing on features and benefits and start focusing on the results the client wants. What are the specific pain points and desires of your clients?
Now, we can go on and we can continue with the conversation.
Yeah, keep going.
So, Jeffrey, if I know...
Let's get back on track. You mentioned earlier that you're struggling with closing deals. I want to challenge you. What's the worst that could happen if you don't close this deal? What's the impact on your pipeline, your numbers, and your team?
We've already had a number of meetings with this client. How do I make sure that we're on track?
You've already built some momentum with this client, which is great. Now it's time to bring it home. What specific actions have you taken so far in the meetings to move the conversation forward? And what's the next step you're looking to get the client to commit to?
We finalized on pricing, but we're still closing down on the total value and cost.
Pricing is just a number, but value is what sells. What specific value are you going to deliver to this client that justifies the cost? What results can you guarantee they'll get from working with you?
So we have a competitor whose pricing is the same as ours.
A pricing war. That's a tough spot to be in. Let me ask you this. What unique value are you bringing to the table that your competitor isn't? What's the secret sauce that makes your solution worth the investment, even at the same price point?
Our feature is the quickness of our service and the ability to support them 24/7.
You're highlighting the speed and support aspects. That's a good start, but I want to take it a step further. How are you going to make those benefits tangible and meaningful to the client? What specific pain points are you going to alleviate with your quick service and 24/7 support?
So I think we get the gist. We can go on, and we can ask all sorts of different questions. We can create different scenarios. We can talk about our pipeline. We can talk about any aspect of sales. We can talk about the specifics of the customer. We can ask it to do even help us on the research side. We can create a template for a proposal. So any aspect of sales can be covered off by simply talking to Jeffrey.
And also, I hate the word pain. So I train my own to say, never say pain to me again. Call it opportunity, please. And I'll remember.
Yeah. So, Thomas, let me draw attention to the left side of your screen, because if you look there, you can see that these are past discussions you've had with the AI agent. And this stuff stays in the memory here. So you can go back and recall this, and you have a written transcript. Am I correct?
That's correct.
And then from this point, you're getting an email the next day as a follow-up of the discussion that you had yesterday.
With other sales info encouragement as well. It's not just what you did yesterday. It's like, I'm going to kick your ass in the morning if you want me to.
Okay.
Now, the other thing that you can do is you can actually discuss your day and build in tasks. So you can actually create your follow-up list. You can create your ongoing development list and your lead list and your tips list. And you can create an ongoing working format for your sales day where the system and Jeffrey get back to you on a regular basis. As I said this morning, I got an email from Jeffrey that said, "What are you doing? I don't see you spending any time making calls and setting up your appointments."
And if you want, that's the PC version. Otherwise, I'm going to call you a lazy bastard, get your ass out of bed and get rolling.
Yeah. Thomas, how do you switch from nice Jeffrey to salty Jeffrey?
Salty, I love that. You just tell it.
Yeah, you just tell it. You can, there is a setting in here. I forget where it is, to be honest. But you can set it so that it goes from one way or the other. But you can also tell it, speak to me in Jersey Jeffrey, or speak to me in politically correct.
Okay. So you just tell it, and then the AI knows it from that point.
It does. It does. And you can always switch it back as well.
It's scary what it knows, and it's scary how it tells you.
And depending upon how you set it up, if you organize it with your calendar, then it knows the meetings you've got coming up, and it will come in front of you 15 to 30 minutes earlier and remind you about the meeting, but more importantly, ask you the questions from a sales perspective you need to think about going into that meeting.
Okay. So this AI agent is going to call you on your crap, to quote Jeffrey.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's going to call you on your excuses.
Yep. Now, there's one more feature that's brand new. It's not quite under control yet, but it's going to get there. Y'all have Zoom meetings and y'all have personal meetings, and y'all go with your earbuds. Well, my AI will be able to listen to the meeting and whisper in your ear what you should be doing while the meeting is happening. I want you to. Oh, yeah. Oh, let me tell you, it's getting real sophisticated, and it's not. It'll say, hey, shit for brains, or it'll say, hey, Bob. But either way, you're going to get information about what's happening in the meeting right now and how you can either swing it in your favor or add something that's brilliant. And the more you use it, the more it understands about you.
Okay. So reviewing this, I put a link in here into the comments of where you can go and see this. And Jeffrey, please correct me if I'm wrong, but if somebody goes, they can get a free 2-day trial of this. Am I correct?
That's correct.
And then
you have to put your credit card in.
Right.
You cancel after 2 days. No one's going to charge you anything. And then there's a deal. You can take 2 months for half price to make sure you have enough understanding of it to subscribe in full.
Okay. So what is the monthly fee for this platform?
$1 million.
I didn't say what the value was. I said what the fee was.
Okay. It's $99 a month is the full fee.
Okay.
But here's the deal. This is you have me 24/7 for $100 a month. I have clients I charge $10,000 an hour. If I go out and give a speech, I charge $50,000. You have me for $100. Now is not the time to be a cheap bastard. Now is the time to invest in AI in a way that you can win and win big and forever.
Jeffrey, you got to stop holding back. You just don't let your feelings.
I'll do my best, Jerry.
Okay.
Ever since we won the Super Bowl again this year, it's been a whole new program.
Now, wait a minute. When you say that, be aware you live in Charlotte, but Charlotte didn't win. The Carolina Hornets, Panthers didn't win, correct?
No, they don't win games, let alone Super Bowls.
Yeah.
I grew up just outside of Philadelphia, and I bleed green. Okay. And anyone who knows me knows that I bleed green. In Charlotte, there are thousands of, underground Eagle fans. So I'll be wearing a hat or a shirt or something, and someone will walk by me and go Birds. And they just acknowledge that, no one acknowledges your political party, but everyone will acknowledge your team.
Okay. So let's go over to Cheryl. Cheryl, you've had your exposure to this demo. What's your thoughts on this? What do you think of this process?
I think it's great. I mean, the thing is, it's not worth a dime if you don't use it. That's the
Correct.
main thing. But anybody that has ever worked with Jeffrey, I've never worked with him, but I've worked with you working with him. And I saw what an impression he made on you. Well, now, and I also know where Jeffrey's wallet is. So, $99 a month, I agree. It's not all about the money. It's about the quantity that you're getting for that money. And I like it. I thought it was kind of cool.
If
I
you're worried about
still-
$100 a month, go somewhere else, please. Go
I
to-
almost wish I had my company still so I could use it for sales. I think it's cool.
Well, here's one of the things that hit me, Jeffrey, of using this. And I told some clients about this because we encourage people to have a morning meeting every morning before they turn their crews loose. So I said, just imagine this. Find out what the biggest issue was with closing a sale yesterday. And then click on Jeffrey and say, hey, Jeffrey,
Yeah.
I had this problem yesterday. How do I fix it? That's where I see you can use this within your companies to train your people to be better, of how to communicate better. It's all about the value. It's all about, going back to my training with you, Jeffrey, it's all about building the trust, building a relationship, building the value. And that's where we lose so many sales. We're not doing those things.
And Jerry, I would add to that you're building a relationship in this case with Jeffrey online, because what's happening is the AI is learning about you, is learning about your style, is learning about the questions that you're asking, and then starts to zone in on how you should improve. So the questions get more and more focused, and so do the answers. And so Jeffrey becomes your personal, full-time, 24/7, 365 coach.
Okay, so to clarify that, this AI is going to get to know the user.
Yep.
So the more you use it, the more conversations, the more this AI is going to be able to pick up on what your fears are, what your communication issues are, where just like Jeffrey said, he can call you on your crap.
Every time.
Oh yeah, it's scary. It's totally scary. And the best part is it's kind of fun to use. You're not going to hurt my feelings. You don't have to worry about your boss. You don't have to call your boss anymore. You can just call me.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you what, your boss is going to wonder why your sales doubled last week.
And wonder why he's not getting a phone call anymore.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
How difficult is it to keep up with AI, the technology? How difficult is this? Or maybe that's a question for Thomas.
Well, I'd like to both answer it. I get new information about AI 5 times a day.
Yeah.
Minimum. It's something that, and people ask me all the time, Jerry, and I think this is an important point. Is AI going to replace me? And the answer is no, it will not replace you. But salespeople that use AI will be replacing salespeople that do not use AI.
Right. Let me tell you something else. And this goes back again, Jeffrey, to when I sat in the classroom with you for a couple days, listening to you, going through your certification programs and everything that I did. And you said something there that was an influence on me and still is to this day, which is you said, I'm 70 years old. This will outlive me. I am building my legacy.
Correct.
Because even if Jeffrey has the big one today, this AI is not going to disappear. Correct, Thomas?
That is absolutely correct.
And
Jeffrey will
I
live
went
on.
to the doctor's yesterday, and he said I will not see the big one soon.
Okay.
So just be aware of that.
But
However,
it is. Right. From Jeffrey's input, that's why I developed my own virtual learning platform for the industry I serve.
Exactly.
Because I've got over 750 courses online. So if something happens to me, that's my legacy that stays there. All the articles. I haven't done as many as books as Jeffrey, but I've done 10 at this point, and that's a legacy building thing. So that's the whole thing here. This is downloaded a brain.
Yeah. I want to add something to what Cheryl said earlier, because she said something really important. It's only as important as the extent to which it's used, right? And when you couple that with the cost, $100 a month, if you get an additional $10 or $20 or $30,000 sale every month because you've learned how to use this, and you've become more confident and proficient and a better salesperson in working with Jeffrey, this pays for that and the new car you want to get at the same time, right?
Yeah.
So it needs to really be seen for what it is. This is easy to use. You just talk to Jeffrey and you get the results. So unlike a CRM that nobody's going to use, this is something that you do best, talking.
And by the way, the reason CRM is not used is that the user perceives it will not help them make a sale. And the user perceives that the boss is going to be looking at my CRM to make sure I'm making enough cold calls.
Right.
I'm only going to give you answers that lead to sales to fill your wallet. That's what this program is about. Answers that leads to sales to fill your wallet. If that's not what you want, you got to go someplace else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeffrey, another question for you.
Sure.
Why is there so many self-professed experts out there? When you look at it, every single day, my email box, my social media is flooded.
Okay. So here's an answer. I'm going to give you a question to ask anybody who sends you their AI intelligence brag. Hi, thanks for your email. Do you have your own platform or are you using other people's?
Okay.
If they don't have their own platform, for those of you who don't speak French, fuck them. These people are not going to be able to answer you in a way that's going to be meaningful, because if Claude decides that they're going to change their algorithms, you're screwed.
Okay.
And ChatGPT, there's nothing proprietary about it. It goes into the open AI network, and you lose your copyrights, you lose your trademarks, you lose all the stuff and yeah, you can ask it about me and I'll give it to you, but they guarantee the answers will not be correct. I will guarantee you the answers will be correct. I'm the only one that does that.
Oh, it is. Like I said, when I saw this, it's like, my God, I'm jealous as all get up. This guy's figured away.
Now you're talking.
I'm serious, man. When I saw this, like I said, you influenced me on virtual training years ago. And I still remember when I looked at it in that classroom and watched what was happening, I said, that was the future. And that's where we're at today with this.
Oh, yeah.
A future type thing here to really build. And Thomas, so you're aware, the people listening to us are in home services. This means you're selling to homeowners.
Sure.
So we're talking sales. To be honest with you, can go $20,000 to $40,000 today to fix a fireplace or a chimney.
Sure.
And being able to up that closure rate, and that's what this will do, in my opinion, can be a fantastic addition to your arsenal of tools.
Oh, yeah.
So,
even just one a month is $500,000 a year.
Yes, sir. I mean, we've got salespeople that are doing over $3 million a year as chimney service people. Okay, $3 million a year in homes. I remember when I first met Jeffrey, he found out what I did and what I worked with. I think it was kind of shocking to him that what chimney sweeps were doing. I still remember sitting there that one day and we were talking in his office. So yes,
you always think about Mary Poppins or some guy wearing a tuxedo.
Yeah, that's it. It was. I mean, that's what he talked about, his own experience with the chimney sweep. I think I shocked him when I told him what chimney service companies were doing this day and time.
Yeah.
So Jeffrey, we're coming up. I know Thomas has got a hard close here in a minute. Is there anything else you'd like to add in about this?
Yeah, if you don't do this, you're an idiot.
And that's the New Jersey, just so you know, that's what you're dealing with. But you can pick your personality. You don't have to deal with the salty. I saw Brandy was watching this earlier, Cheryl. So hopefully we can do a Brandy version, which will be a G-rated here. Thomas, anything you would add into this?
I would just reiterate what Jeffrey said. I'm a little bit more politically correct, but nonetheless, I would say the same thing. If you don't use this, you are not going to be in sales for very much longer.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
I hate to say it that way, but that's pretty much true.
That's it. And here's the other side. The memory of this is better than Jeffrey's memory.
Oh yeah. Oh, 1,000 times. 1,000. I went through that, 5-year period of time where I didn't even know what day it was. Remember,
Yeah.
Bill Clinton said, "I never inhaled, I never exhaled."
Yeah.
So that's part of the deal that you get when you have someone who's seasoned. But I can tell you this: I made cold calls in New York City and sold millions of dollars worth of stuff, and most of the people that are listening here did not. And all of that strategy, all those techniques have been modernized and put into context where people can use it immediately. I'm going to give you sales information that 1 minute after you hear it, you can take it out into the street and turn it into money.
That's it. So, folks, if you're listening to the replay, which that's with the vast majority of people, we're doing up close to 30,000 on replays at this point. So the link is in there. Go look at this.
Go.
Engage. Take the free trial.
Go.
It's going to ask you for a credit card. It's not going to be charged for 2 days. If you try it and you don't like it, hey, cancel it. Cancel it, folks. But I tell you what, I took it. I signed up for it. And I have been just thrilled with the conversations and the service, and I've recommended this highly. So,
Cool.
Thomas, I appreciate you giving us your time today. Jeffrey, I appreciate you giving us your time today. And with that, we're going to end this episode. We appreciate you folks tuning in to us. Let us know how we can assist you using tools like this to take your business to the one you dream of. And with that, we'll see you next week on our next episode. Thank you for joining us today. Have a fantastic weekend and week ahead. And stay cool. It's pretty hot out there right now.
Go Phillies.